Well, Xi Jinping made himself president for life in China in a very repressive party Congress. And it's all about state-run this and state-run that. And a lot of the good reformers are gone. And I think of Xi right now as Mao Zedong redux. But somebody who knows a lot more about it than I do, Michael Pillsbury, Director of Chinese Strategy at the Hudson Institute. Michael, it's been way too long. Thanks for helping us today. You know, I would just tell you, from my limited, on the econ side, and I was on the China trade team, the good guys are gone, meaning
Right.
Liu He, who was one of them, and Yi Gang, who was the central banker. They were real reformers, and they had staffs that were honest-to-goodness reformers, and they're all blown out. And the stock market, the ADRs that trade, the Chinese companies that trade here, they were blown up. So this looks like a very nasty story. What you thinking, Mike Pillsbury?
I think you're right, Larry. I used to refer to Liu He as Larry Kudlow's friend, Liu He.
He
Remember
was.
you had dinner with him
Yes.
a couple of times? You had kind of a friendly relationship with him because you knew he was a reformer, and he did not want to crush the Chinese economy. He did not want to give free rein to these state-owned enterprises. But it looks like not only Liu He is gone, other reformers have been excused or retired. And probably worse than that, we have the discussion of something called the Xi Jinping thought for the new era. And part of Xi Jinping's thought for the new era is socialism has to be in charge of China. This is a sacred principle now. So the hope that they would become either a liberal free market or even have some modified political reforms, that seems to me is all gone. And you may joke about this, but there's something called the Golden Dragon China NASDAQ Index. And it's down 14% yesterday. So that's like $150 billion of lost capital. If you're Larry Fink or Jamie Dimon, if you're one of the bulls on China, you're in trouble with your clients today.
Well, you're absolutely right. Look at the Golden Dragon thing. Look, the United States, I don't know about the Bidens, but the United States got to stand up to this guy, right? We have no choice. He is an adversary. I dare say he's an enemy. It sounds to me, Michael Pillsbury, like he wants to fight a Cold War. And one of the questions I have for you is, does this bring a China mainland takeover of Taiwan closer?
It does bring it closer. I think, to borrow one of your phrases, that the cavalry is on the way. If the Republicans win, especially in the House, there's a raft of legislation, Larry, on dealing with China, on beefing up Taiwan's defenses. The cavalry is on the way in this legislation, partly from the Republican Study Committee, partly from the China Task Force. Kevin McCarthy announced in his mandate that there's going to be a select committee on China with all the committees in the House being members of it and try to take a comprehensive approach to China. But I'm afraid if that doesn't happen, we still cannot count China out. They can recover. They can use subsidies. They've got almost $3 trillion in foreign exchange reserves they can pump into their economy. So we can't relax our guard yet. But yes, Taiwan is a sitting duck, in my view.
Yeah, the other stuff is we have to be so strong here. I don't know what we're waiting for. TikTok should be thrown out. The story was in the paper. Representatives of Huawei, the phone company, which we did throw out, O'Brien and I and others, Peter Navarro, we got rid of that group. But their spies were still here trying to influence, I think it was our FBI, I'm not sure, or Justice Department or somebody. We just have to be tough because this chap Xi is Mao in disguise, maybe not so disguised, and he's going to roll the dice against us every time.
I agree, and these new indictments are really Chinese intelligence officers, MSS agents, who are able to persuade Americans with access to sensitive, even commercial material. They can get Americans to sign a consultant contract where they say, you give us your expertise, you give us some ideas, some inside information. You're just a consultant, so you're not really a spy. But now that has not held up, and that's what the indictments are about. One FBI retiree told me that this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of Chinese intelligence operations in America.
No doubt. I've got stories. You got stories. Anyway, Michael Pillsbury, thanks for coming back. We will have you on. We've got to follow this story now. Xi has just gone over the edge. Total, totalitarian, authoritarian, central planning, and the like.